What's up, Steelies? Thanks for tuning back into another Keeping It Real with Danie Steele. I hate classism. I just do, you know? And I don't know, I feel like it's a weird topic because, at least for me, I don't really talk a lot about class. I feel like people don't really talk about a lot of class and classism, certainly not in my age group. You know, it's like everyone's just trying to survive and make it. I think when the whole idea is everyone grinding, you know, people don't really stop and take a look at where did we all individually start from to get to where we are today. So, you know, I know in workplace institutions and even in academic institutions, they encourage employees and students, etc., not to talk about finances with one another, not to talk about the finances that are being received with one another. And why is that? I always thought that was weird. I was like, why not? And then you start thinking more about why that is, which is you're gonna get a lot of complaints. You're gonna get a lot of complaints when you're basing things based on merit, which is a very broad term, and you know that there are students with specific financial needs, but you're trying to appease everyone and get everyone to join. Those are some ways that institutions can definitely take advantage. We were walking Cersei, and I got a memory about, which often happens to me, you know, as an empath. Can I get some more empaths in the comment section? Okay, to testify. Okay. An overwhelming memory came to me about a time, and I was either in kindergarten or first grade, like second grade at the most. I always do that. Second grade at the most, but I think it was first or second grade. I was invited to a kid in the class birthday party, and looking back at it now, I realize he probably only invited me because I was in his class. And obviously, right, like your kids, you're in first or second grade, and that's what people do. And I was a very shy kid, but I spoke up when I had to because I knew how to do that too. You know, so I think I conveyed, or my teacher and I conveyed, that there was no way that where I lived and the situation that I was in, how I grew up and everything, there was no way that I would get a ride to this party. And so his mother agreed to pick me up. And she just made it so clear when she picked me up, like she was like, what the hell is this? You see what I'm saying? I remember just feeling so ashamed by how she felt about where I lived. Again, I was going to a private school. And I was telling my husband this, and he was like, yeah, you know, I'm sorry. He was like, you know, I know sometimes as white people, we can be insensitive and not really understand like where you're coming from. I was like, these are black people. And I'm not throwing shade or whatever. I'm just keeping the situation 100, right? Because as I spoke about before, I grew up around black people with money. And I didn't, you know, it's like you knew I was poorer than you because there was opportunity to make fun of and make comments about. But there was never any mass effort to help in any way. And I don't understand that. There were little handouts here or there, you know, which, you know, thank you. I appreciate. You didn't have to do anything. Appreciate it, you know, straight up. But like, how do you not make sure a kid can eat? This kid's mom, again, I'm in first or second grade, is making comments about where I live because I lived in the hood. Rochester, New York. What's up? What's up? I'm gonna keep shouting y'all out in the comments until y'all fucking start following me in mass and showing me some support and showing me some fucking love, straight up. I mean, I know, okay, I curse too much. I'm working on it. You know, but at the same time, it's like Charlemagne curse, y'all watch him. Cardi curse, y'all watch her. I'm not a gospel channel. I don't know why y'all want me to be a gospel channel. I'm not a gospel channel. Why do y'all keep coming to me saying, why are you cursing? I'm not the daughter of a bishop. Y'all gave her money too. She ran around, she did whatever she wanted to do, right? I'm just keeping it 100. I'm just keeping it 100. Okay? I don't know why y'all come to my channel with all these fucking rules and expectations like I'm baby Oprah. Do I have baby Oprah money? No, I don't. I want it. I'm working on it. But I don't have micronism Oprah money. You understand? Like I don't have amoeba Oprah money. I don't have a fraction of an inch of what she has for people to come into me with the same expectations that you're giving her. You know, you're like, well, Oprah wouldn't curse. I'm not Oprah. Anyways, I digress. Classism. And he was shocked because, you know, whatever, people think that all black people are struggling, don't have money. And that's not the case. The case and the reality is that there are a lot of black people with money. And they're just as fucking insensitive, and they don't get it either. And they don't, you know, they don't want to be around poor black people either. They don't want to help them out. She was looking at my house and looking at the neighborhood. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Y'all know what's up. Come on, I'm talking about the hood. Y'all know what's up. See, I would be wrong to be like, I probably live somewhere better than you live today. Y'all can check out my Instagram stories. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? I was just sharing on my Instagram story about how, like, I was, it's still on there if you guys want to check it out. God damn, somebody called me and cut my video off. Anyways, I was just explaining on my Instagram story that I was out walking Cersei, and the guards lady where I live was like, do you live here? And I was like, yes. You know, I was ready to have an attitude and everything. And she was like, okay, I was just going to, like, leave the gate open if you wanted to walk through. Because I've been at the gate for a while with Cersei. I was taking pictures of her for Pets of the DK show, which you're also not following, I'm sure. I get it. Like, maybe you don't like cats and dogs, but you know what? Cats and dogs like you. My cats and dogs would like you, and they would like for you to follow their Instagram page. Yes, I was taking some pictures of Cersei for Pets of the DK show. And the guard lady where I live was like, I just wanted to know if you wanted to, like, go through the gate while it was still open, which I appreciated. Okay, but I was telling her, I said, you know, I apologize for coming off a little defensive there when you asked. It's just that when I first moved here, there was a guy, a white guy, who was like asking me like if he could help me, and like I was like, no. The end. And he just kept asking, like, you know, and I was like, you know, it's time to get lawyers involved when you do that. Like, period. Don't tell me, well, I was asking, or well, I want to know, or well, I deserve. You don't deserve shit. I don't owe you shit. If I say no in a flippant way, dude, keep it moving. Period. You're not entitled to my time. You're wasting your time. Okay? I'm always dismayed by classism because there are people who still feel like they have earned what they have when they're still dependent on their parents financially. You can say the same thing about marriage, but marriage is different. That's how it works. It just is. Sorry. So, so when we're looking at these candidates, and there's a lot of talk about, you know, classism and, you know, who people are going to help, I think that the economy would be greatly helped by reparations. So, you know, I mean, like, start there. People are looking out for themselves and thinking about themselves, and that's understandable, but let's not pretend it's anything other than that. What else? At various ages, when I hear girls start talking about guys, I want to emphasize to them that if he can't help you out financially, he can't help you. He's, at that point, it's just take. Period. Sidebar, right? There was this 20-year-old girl who was like, guys my age can't afford to pay for dates. Yes, he can, because my husband started paying for our dates when we were in our 20s, which led me to understand that this is a man that understands how things work and will understand how things work into the 30s and 40s and 50s, etc. Right? So stop making up excuses. But yeah, definitely when kids are in their teens, they can't afford anything. So why are you wasting your time with them? I didn't date as a teenager, and I don't find any point to it. And I wouldn't let my kids date as teenagers, period. Period. Boys as well. We'll talk about that one later. I try to emphasize to my kids, like, about wanting more for your life, right? And also about how much things cost, right? So, you know, I will have students who'll be like, I'm going to live in France forever. Or I'm going to look, you know, and I'm like, well, you know how much that's going to cost? And, you know, I did the same thing with my younger brother. And I'll say that straight out here because he don't watch the channel. You know, he wanted to live in London too. Why does everybody want to live in London, France? They look like nice places to visit, but I don't know why everybody wants to live there. But anyway, and he would be like, you know, I'm going to live in London. And I'd be like, do you understand how much that's going to cost? And that was because I was living in New York. I got to New York in my early 20s, and it was hard. And I was like, if New York City is this hard, I'm imagining other major cities across the ocean are just as hard or even harder. And therefore, you can't just blankly say, I'm going to live here. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. I don't think there's anything wrong with emphasizing that to kids that are struggling, because people try not to emphasize it to me and act like, it wasn't going to matter and that I was just going to be another kid in the hood, another statistic. There's levels to this shit, right? And if you fill up one level, that means that somebody else has got to go down, right? You stepping up, how you get up there? How you staying up there? There's levels to this shit, right? So that's why I was very observant, very observant. One, because I had to be. Empaths talk a lot about is like growing up in an abusive homes, you just learn to be very observant if you're that kind of person, and I am. So I've always been very observant. I saw who had money and I knew who didn't, which was me. Okay. So then I made moves to be the person that gets money. And everybody want to act like they mad. Anyways, stop. Stop. Let me tell you something. They'll be mad if you're not struggling with them. They ain't got shit for you if you ain't struggling with them. They only want to be around you if you're not struggling means they're not struggling. And it's like, sorry, shit don't work that way. I'm not going to be one of these stories that so-and-so went bankrupt because they're trying to help everybody else out. For what? Who helped me out? In my life, everybody take. People don't pop up unless it's something to say about something they want from me. I'm going off on a tangent. But that's why you love me, okay? Because I was observant, I observed who had money, and, I went to private school, and so I saw that firsthand all the time, right? I was always around people, from the upper middle class who had money. And when you don't see that on a daily basis, I'm not sure how that affects you. So I just try to infuse, like, you deserve better, right? You deserve the big ring. You deserve fancy this and that, like everybody else that has very nice things. You deserve that too, right? And that's all I try to emphasize onto my students or anyone else that I know. That's what I try to emphasize onto, students, younger people, or anyone that I know firsthand, right? I'm like, maybe you didn't recognize this coming up. So I'm trying to let you know, this is how people do things at this level. I don't know. I just feel like, classism happens because people are greedy with the information about how they got there, right? So we're seeing Jeff Bezos go into high schools with black kids and everybody wants to talk about something. Oh, why they didn't ask so many questions? What he gonna do? Be like, here's the game plan. Here's how you get exactly what I got. I'm gonna lay it out for you. Okay, so what? So there can be a Blackazon? And Blackazon is competing with Amazon because he went and just gave somebody the exact key? He's not going to do that. That's how he became Jeff Bezos. That's how he stays where he is ensuring that other people stay where they are. But anyways, that's another subject for another day. The point is, or is it? The point is classism. I just think it's whack. A lot of people were born into their wealth. A lot of people inherited their wealth. A lot of it is generational wealth. Most millennials today that are millionaires, that's generational wealth. They're not entrepreneurs and they didn't earn it. I'm just saying most millennials that are millionaires today, that's a statistical fact. I mean, even times we'll see people congratulating people 24/7. They're like, oh my God, she made it and she did this and she did that. And I'm like, these people are coming from middle and upper middle class, at the least, families. A lot of them are coming from wealthy families, rich families, 1% families. They're not going to tell you, like, I'm from a wealthy family. They want it to look like they worked hard like everybody else. And eventually they just tell people, well, I worked hard for this, right? Where have we seen that before? Yeah, you worked hard, but the door that opened for you to work at that level. Don't act like everybody has that door. And there's a lot of propaganda that would have you believe that everybody has the same doors open for them. That's not true. You're going to have to work to open certain doors. Like, share, subscribe. Again, subscribe. Okay. And see you guys next time. All right. Bye.